From the Apopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our weekly 5 in 5 segment. We've got 5 topics. We're going to rally through them in 5 minutes, Barry. Let's start with this topic. OSU, national title game still possible?
Well, I think it is. I tell you, it's a long shot. It's definitely a long shot for this reason. Alabama got all the momentum. Everybody thinks Alabama, LSU, the top 2 teams. But if OSU can beat Oklahoma, I think there's a sliver of a chance that enough voters will vote no rematch. And
yeah.
I think with the computers, they love the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So. Now, I don't think Auburn's going to beat Alabama. If Auburn beats Alabama, the answer is sure. But it's a sliver of a chance if that doesn't happen. Great chance if it does.
Yeah, I just think the rematch idea, I think that initially after Alabama, LSU, after that game, people were kind of excited about the potential to maybe see these 2 teams match up again. I'm not so sure now in the light of day. All those field goals, does anybody really want to see that again?
No, it's like Mike Lupica said. It was the game of the century, the game of the 19th century. So
yeah. Nobody
wants to see Alabama, LSU again.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody else, a Stanford, an Oklahoma State, whoever was been the people that have been pushing on the crowd.
Those offenses.
That would be a fun match.
Yeah, those offenses would be great.
LSU, Alabama, and I don't think it's fair to LSU. Because they went to Tuscaloosa and won.
Right.
Now you're asking them to beat them again. They've already won in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, although they'd get them in New Orleans, so it'd be almost a home field. All right, on to our next topic. This one's about OU, Barry. Biggest concern with the Sooners.
Isn't it fun to not answer field goal kicking on this
Kickers,
one?
I know.
The kicking, they got a great kicker.
Jimmy Stevens and Honeycutt off the hook.
Yeah, Michael Honeycutt's the least of their problems. They can't guard the pass.
Yeah.
And that's not going to hurt them against Iowa State. Who cares? But guess what Oklahoma State's going to do next week? They're going to pass, just like Baylor did, just like Tech did. I don't know if the Sooners can fix this pass defense to win Bedlam. So I think it's a major concern.
Well, and I think they've got the talent, and you may disagree with me on this. I think they've got the talent to cover people better. I'm just not so sure the scheme. In week 10 to have the confusion that we saw at Baylor, that to me says scheme may be a little too much for these guys, Barry.
Well, I don't know. I think they may be a player short. I mean, it's obvious to me that Tony Jefferson could play free safety pretty well, but they like him down there at Rover where he can cover the crossing pattern. You know, Bob Stoops said Tuesday, he said, we've thought about moving Tony Jefferson back to free safety, but then, you know.
What do you got in the wake of it?
And guess what OSU likes to do?
Yeah.
They like to run Justin Blackman and Josh Cooper on those little crossing patterns. They need somebody to take their heads off.
All right, let's go to our next topic. This one about Bedlam. Of course, an OSU question, an OU question, now Bedlam. Who's going to win?
Well, I think you got to go with the Cowboys. I mean, for the reasons we've been talking about.
Yeah.
You know, after the Friday night game in Ames, I thought, you know, OSU may be reeling after this. This may just deflate their bubble. But then you watch that OU pass defense and you think, Brandon Wheaton can have a big game. I think I'm still going to go with the Cowboys at this point.
Well, and you look at the 2 teams that threw it around against Oklahoma, Texas Tech and Baylor, and 900 plus yards of offense in those 2 games alone against the Sooner defense. Barry, to me, that spells disaster for OU. I'm not saying that it's going to be a blowout, but I don't think that they can hold down this OSU offense. And, you know, in Stillwater, I just think this favors the Cowboys right now.
One thing about OSU that has to concern you, though, Joe Randall fumbles.
No doubt.
Not only the fumbles hurt you, but when you got to take him out because he's fumbling so much, then you lose a playmaker. That really hurt OSU and Ames.
Yeah.
If Joey Randall's not going to hang on to the ball, OU very well will win.
And we saw how much his catching skills out of the backfield. Jeremy Smith didn't have it. That's a really big deal for OSU as well. All right, an important question this week, Barry. Your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Well, I know you go for the traditional things like the turkey and the dressing and all that.
Man, that picture makes me hungry, Barry.
Well,
look at that. Oh,
I don't see any broccoli and cheese casserole in that picture, though. And
it's a shame.
That's what I'm going to go with. I love the broccoli and cheese casserole. Here's why I like it. You don't get it every day. You have to go to Furs to get it most times. But you get it on Thanksgiving, and then it's great warmed up. It's a fantastic leftover. I vote for broccoli and cheese casserole.
It is great warmed up. I hadn't even thought about that. And the fact that you know it's at Furs, that scares me a little bit. But while I love, we call it green rice casserole, broccoli cheese casserole, I'm going to go with the green bean casserole. what are those onion shoestringy things used otherwise for? It's like without Thanksgiving, that would not exist.
I don't know, but how can you, why would anybody ever make a green bean casserole? That makes no sense.
You just want to eat green beans?
Green beans are fantastic by themselves.
Oh, I love the green bean casserole.
Throw a little bacon in there, cook them all day, it's fantastic. Meanwhile, broccoli, you got to do something with broccoli. You can't just eat broccoli.
You can put some cheese on it. Just put broccoli with cheese. That's great.
And bake it and you got broccoli and cheese casserole. You're making my point.
All right. Lastly, in 5 and 5, Barry, is Brody Eldridge right?
No.
Now let's remember, Twitter, after the Baylor loss, he said Oklahoma had gotten out of its routine of being a hard-nosed football program and gotten too much of an ego.
Not humble anymore, arrogant, he said. Brody Eldridge is not right, but he is angry.
Yeah.
You know what? He's just a fan. He's become a fan. I love Brody Eldridge. He's
Bob Stoops loves
Bob
Brody.
Stoops loves him more than I do. I love Brody, but he's wrong about this. He's just become a fan. He watches a game, he throws his shoe at the TV, he gets mad, he takes to Twitter and just says whatever's on his head, which is not true. OU letting the cameras in of ESPN 3 months ago, that didn't have anything to do with Javon Harris guarding the deep ball, or the backup defensive ends rushing Robert Griffin as well as Ronell Lewis did, or Travis Lewis and Pat. That didn't have anything to do with ESPN being here. So I think Brody's just frustrated.
No doubt. And you know what? You don't get on our game day chat very often, but I'm on there a lot, and I see it all the time. I almost feel like a psychologist during games, having to talk people down from the ledge, fire this person, take this person off scholarship. I mean, people, they ebb and flow about how terrible and how great their team is all the time. That's part of being a fan. And yeah, Twitter has become, used to sit down and rally off a letter to the editor. Oh no, now it's Twitter and it's instantaneous. And Brody Eldridge, he got mad and he was frustrated about these guys that he thinks he knows so well, watching them get beat every time. He let his head get away from him and just put it out there on Twitter. It was fun, but I don't think they've gotten out of the way that they are as a program.
Here's what I would ask Brody Eldridge. Robert Griffin's way better than Cody Hawkins. 100 times better than Cody Hawkins. You lost to Cody Hawkins in 2007. What's your excuse?
Exactly. All right, that's it for 5 and 5. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.